West Indies. Mrs. Gill, thank you very much for your presence. We have with us officials from the Grenada Tourism Authority who has really adopted cricket, and cricket is now a central theme of the tourism product in Grenada. We'd like to recognize the new chairman of the Grenada Tourism Authority, Mr. Randy Dorland, our dear friend in cricket, in tourism, and our true cricketing ambassador, Ms. Petra Roach, the CEO of the Grenada Tourism Authority, Ms. Nicoyanna Roberts of the GTA, and Mr. Roberts, executive members of the GCA. I know we have the first Vice President, Andy Noel, Mr. Boyd, Mr. Ricky Williams. We have a number of other distinguished guests, but I'd like to single out two. The first Grenadian to wear the maroon blazer and wear the maroon cap representing Grenada, Mr. Junior Murray, MBE. Thank you for joining us. We do have the third Grenadian to play Test cricket for the West Indies. He's here with us also, Mr. Devon Smith, who only earlier on this year hung up his boots after 22 years of representing Grenada and the Windward Islands at first-class cricket. So let's give another round of applause to Devon Smith. And one of the, it would be remiss of me if I did not recognize this gentleman, one of the godfathers of cricket in Grenada, Mr. Cecil Greenidge, the man himself, who has been a long-standing servant of cricket in Grenada, secretary, president, he has done it all, and I think he's one of the gentlemen who is responsible for all of us standing here where we are today to celebrate our wonderful achievements in cricket. Our match officials, Mr. Norman Gilbert, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Sports and Youth, all our distinguished guests, cricketing staff, the coach of the Windward Islands Volcanoes, Mr. Shirley Clark, and all the other officials who are with us. Good evening and welcome. We are where we're going to have some remarks and then we're going to have some presentation of awards. We do aware it's been a long week for a number of our players and those involved in the game, so we're not going to keep you much here further longer, but we do have to pay our bills. And first of all, I'd like to invite Mr. Graham West, High Performance Manager of Cricket West Indies, to give some remarks.
Good evening, everybody. On that basis, am I getting paid for this, Kerry? More familiar with addressing a team rather than everybody here, but I will just say all protocols observed. It is quite a lineup that we have here this evening, and very fortunate to have this opportunity. Just say a few words. I promise it won't be too long. But I think it is important that we recognise we've got regional youth cricket back on the calendar in the Caribbean. I've witnessed over the last 6 weeks the under-19s in St. Vincent, the under-17s in Trinidad, and save the best till last, the under-15s in Grenada. For me, the opportunity to see our emerging talent, and obviously for all of you guys that have participated this week, it's your first time at a regional tournament. It's really great to get eyes on all of you. It worked out really well that I was able to watch every game of the tournament, bar a few overs at La Sagesse. So I'm, pleased that I've been here, I've observed, seen some really good cricket. Some great potential, some great talent. Everybody always says to me, there's no shortage of talent in the Caribbean, and you've very much, given all the challenges over the last 12, 24 months, you guys haven't had the benefit of the coaching that previous under-15 sides would have had. You haven't had the benefit of lots of matches, lots of tournaments. It's a credit to all the players. It's a credit to the coaches and managers that have tried their best through the last couple of months. even coming here for a 50-over tournament and suddenly finding it's been a shortened tournament, another challenge for you coaches, so well done. I certainly recognise your efforts and the progress that the team's made just in the short period that we were playing. Boys, I would at this stage I would like to say, as well as all of the talent and the potential across the tournaments this summer, there has been a little bit of a trend in terms of fielding. We've seen a few misfields and a few overthrows. I think we've spent a lot of time on our batting and bowling, but hopefully we all recognise fielding is a very important part of the game. The 6 wicket keepers here, I suspect they've got longer arms than they had at the start of the tournament. Some of the throwing we need to work on and improve. And just think of some of the runs that we conceded that we didn't need to. The windwards in that last couple of overs, just an overthrow, a drop catch, a wide. It was a difference between winning and losing today. So I very much encouraged all of the players this summer, moving forwards, okay, your fielding is a key part of the game, very crucial, and needs just as much time as your other skills. What we've been able to do this year with Cricket West Indies is we've introduced the Emerging Players Academy. There's players from all territories. I'm sure some of you guys know some of the players that have started on the academy. But I think it would be remiss of me this evening not to give you guys a bit of a heads up in terms of what we do and what we're looking for. In 2, 3, 4, 5 years' time, hopefully you're all looking to progress. And if I start to introduce just a couple of things now, it gives you an awareness that you can take away from this tournament. You go back to your territories and start to work on, start to develop. So we had 4 key areas that we focused on this time around. The first one, we talked about raising fitness levels. Okay, we've identified across all of our programs, fitness levels need to improve. And with that, it's about you taking ownership. It's about you taking responsibility. We've started to educate our players in a lot of the methods, so they're not coming back with the excuse, "Oh, I've not got a coach to work with." That they can actually start to do some of this themselves. All right. When you look at the demands now of professional cricket, international cricket, you've got to be fit, and you've got to be able to go for 3, 4, 5 months without a break sometimes. So we start now, we get into good habits, and it will take care of you as you grow and progress. We've talked about developing good habits, and this pretty much covers everything, all right? From what we eat, from what we drink, to the commitment that we put into our training. We make good decisions, all right? That's really what we're encouraging this first group of players to make good decisions, become accountable. It's a word you will hear as you move up the levels. Accountability, responsibility. They're going to be really important in your development. We've talked about cricket skills, okay? That's got to be a key component of what it is that we do. But our skills and our competencies are about becoming world class. Now, you're not going to become world class by this time next year, but you've got to aim high, and you've got to look at the world's best. You've got to look at how they go about things. Look at their methods across all formats. Our program is very much about developing players to play all formats of the game. You guys will probably get exposed to more white ball cricket in your development, but at the same time, you've got to be ready for red ball cricket, the demands, the challenges of the longer format. The last point is about developing people as well as players. We have a personal development program to educate, to upskill all of our players. All right? So we talk about personal development. We've introduced nutrition. We've introduced finance, media. All of you guys, I'm sure, very keen to follow your star players the players that you look up to, it's going to be you one day. Now, it's all about getting your media profile. You're probably far more aware of those things than I am and how to go about it. But, again, how do you present yourself? How do you represent yourself? What is it that you want to show and give to the world? What is it that's going to make you stand out amongst other players, other teams? So that's very much where we've started the program. The women's program starts next year, so we'll have a male and a female program running, and it runs for 12 months of the year. Very much for the boys, for the men, to help you progress towards that first professional contract. Okay, so as I said, time will fly, and you guys will all be in that situation very shortly. I look forward to seeing your progression and development over the next couple of years at regional tournaments. I'd like to take this opportunity to wish you very well from now until next summer, when I will hopefully see you all again. Coaches, we've still got a bit of work to do, as I said there, but as I said, fantastic job to all of you. Great credit for getting the sides so competitive. It's been an enjoyable watch, always an enjoyable stay in Grenada with Mr. Gill looking after me. So thank you all.
All right, thank you very much, Graham. The high performance manager of Cricket West Indies. And just for a little history, Graham West is the coach of the victorious West Indies World Cup team from 2016. I'm just reminding all of us. And the manager of that team is the next speaker I'm going to introduce, or the manager of that team is the next speaker, yes, I'm going to introduce. He's now the director of Cricket West Indies, vice president of Windward Islands Cricket, and president of the Grenada Cricket Association, the host president of the Rising Stars Under 15 Championship for 2022. So let's give a hand to our president, Dwayne Gill, as he makes some remarks.
Thank you very much, Kerry. What a lineup. I wouldn't say that protocol has been established. I would go through. I recognize the presence of the Honorable Ron Redhead, Minister of State with responsibility for youth, sports, and culture. Of course, Mr. Graham West and Mr. KJ Singh from Cricket West Indies, Ms. Petra Roach from the Grenada Tourism Authority, Mr. Randy Dolan, Chairman of the Tourism Authority, other members of the Grenada Tourism Authority, Mr. Cecil Greenwich, former President of the GCA, Mr. Junior Murray, MBE, Mr. Devon Smith and Mrs. Smith, members of the Grenada Cricket Association, match officials, members of the participating teams, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I want to congratulate the Barbados team on winning this year's Rising Stars Under 15 tournament. Let's give them another round of applause. I would also like to congratulate all of the other participating teams for giving of their best in what must have been challenging circumstances given the weather conditions and the changes in the playing conditions. On the first day of the tournament, I was told by someone who claimed to be a weatherman or meteorologist that we would not have any cricket in Grenada. We would not have any cricket in Grenada based on the forecast at the time. Therefore, we probably would not have a tournament. Thankfully, our facility at the National Stadium was able to stand up to the elements, even if cricket was not possible at the other grounds, Progress Park and La Sagesse. It is against this background I want to thank both KJ and Graham, along with the match officials, for formulating the plan to move all of the matches to the stadium. Of course, we had the cooperation of the teams, the managers, coaches. And when I speak about managers, I must say all of them were quite agreeable, including Jamaica and Barbados. We were happy to host you. But you had a role to play in terms of getting cricket on the road, because you would have agreed to play based on the conditions that we had, and of course with all of the changes. So at the end of the day, we were able to give our players, our rising stars, an opportunity to play some cricket. But this tournament would not have been possible had it not been for the contribution of a few people. And if you may just permit me to mention them, I've mentioned two of them already from Cricket West Indies, KJ and his team, who I know went beyond the call of duty to arrange flights coming in. I think just up to today, we confirmed flights for some of the players going out. And that is how challenging it has been for Cricket West Indies over the last couple of weeks. But KJ, I want you to put you on to Ms. Roach. She's a magician. And she may be able to give you, or to help us in the future when we come back here to have that tournament regarding the flights. I want to thank the match officials who I mentioned before, the match referees, the scorers, the hard-working ground staff at the stadium and at Progress Park and Las Vegas, the venue managers. You would have made this tournament possible. My own team at the GCA, led by Miss Janice Thomas. With the support of a cadre of dedicated men and women. But there's one group I want to single out, and I in particular want to mention three gentlemen who went beyond the call of duty to ensure that the teams and officials were all comfortable. These are our liaison officers. And I want to recognize Mr. Ryan Boyd, who was the liaison officer for Trinidad and Tobago and Guyana. He had two teams. Also Mr. Lex McBean, leewards and windwards. Lex. And Mr. Kellon Noel, who had the most difficult job with Barbados and Jamaica. Well done, gentlemen. So we've come to an end of another Cricket West Indies tournament. Our under-19s finished today as well in St. Vincent. I don't think they were able to finish the match because of the inclement weather. But of course, at Cricket West Indies, we were happy to at least have most of the age group tournaments. We have the under-17 a couple of weeks ago in Trinidad and Tobago. We had the girls under-19s as well. We had the women's senior tournament, all of them affected by the inclement weather. In conclusion, I just want to say to the young men, you were given this opportunity to travel to another country after the whole situation with COVID, to play some cricket. And we hope that you enjoy the experience, because one of these days we are hoping that some of you will meet up together on our future West Indies team. So I just want to urge the players to keep working at your game, ask questions, and you have a number of excellent coaches and managers around. And I must say the job of the coach and the manager at this level is perhaps the hardest of all the levels. Not only you have to coach cricket, but of course you have to be constantly looking over the kids. And some of them, of course, Libert is here, can be rather troublesome. But I wanted to recognize the presence of one particular coach. We had mentioned, or Kerry had mentioned, our test players here today in Junior Murray and Devon Smith. But there's a gentleman from Antigua by the name of Sylvester Joseph, who's also played test cricket. So I want to recognize Mr. Sylvester Joseph as well. Kevin, I'm hoping by next year we'll be able to see West Indies player. So we do have a number of first-class players here that have actually been around the tournament and helping the youngsters. Kevin Hodge is one of them. And I wish I could have said Rohan Nurse in terms of test cricket based on his ability as a young man, And Rohan has developed into one of the leading coaches. This is the coach of the Barbados team. I want to recognize his presence as well. And I also see Mr. Richard Clark as well, who's been fighting up with the girls, the boys, in terms of cricket development in the Caribbean. And I was so happy to see the likes of Rohan meeting up with Gavin Roberts. And I told him today, you cannot turn back the clock. You cannot turn back the clock. But of course, it was good to see the past cricketers, first-class cricketers. The point I wanted to make is that the youngsters, you guys have a good opportunity to pick the brains of these players and use them, go to practice, listen to them, and try always to improve at your game, search for solutions, and always try to be the best that you can be. I wish you a safe journey home. I want to thank you. We're hoping to have similar tournaments in Grenada in the not-too-distant future, perhaps next year. But ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you, and may God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Director Gill. And as we are on the note of saying thanks, I think we need to recognize some of the supporting personnel who have traveled to Grenada in quite large numbers to support their children and their teams. I know last Sunday when I went to the National Stadium, for a minute I had to wonder whether I was at the Queen's Park Oval or the National Stadium in Queen's Park in St. George's, because there were so many Trinidadian fans, parents, supporters there supporting their children. It really was an exciting sight to see so many of them out in their flags and in their colors to support the youngsters at the under 15 level. I know Barbados also had a large traveling contingent, so we want to thank all those from, I think there was a couple of individuals from Guyana and maybe one or two from the other territories who came in to witness the cricket and to provide their support. So let us give a round of applause to all the parents, family members who have traveled to Grenada to support the cricket. We know that it's cricket, but in Grenada, as Ms. Roach would say, cricket is a vibes. So I hope that they would have been taking the opportunity over the last week, though it was hectic schedule, to enjoy some of the other happenings on island. And thanks very much, and we hope to welcome, may not be necessarily the same parents at the under 15 level, but in the future, we host other tournaments to see more parents and supporters coming out to support their youngsters. It is time now, ladies and gentlemen, for the debut of the next batsman, batting at number 3 tonight in his first knock in a cricket event. I would like to invite our dear Minister for Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Ron Redhead.
Greetings to everyone, and let me just first thank the chairman. And let me confess something off the bat before I introduce everyone. Mr. Dwayne Gill used to teach me business management at CC. And one thing about Mr. Gill, he always loved his cricket. So he would speak about his cricket, and at that time I got enthusiastic to go and try out for a team. And so, in trying out for that team, I said I wanted to try hardball cricket. Of course, that's when I learned that I love cricket, but it didn't seem that cricket loved me. So my toe was broken, and from then, I learned that Mr. Gill was only encouraging, but it's up to you, the player, to learn the game and to do your best. So as I see so many young people in this room, willing to participate in what we consider to be one of the most important and premier sports in the Caribbean, it gives me great pleasure to say to you, keep on keeping on. Keep batting. Mr. Dwayne Gill, Mr. Graham, Mr. KJ, who I just met, Ms. Petra, other players, of course, Junior Murray, Devon Smith, Mr. Sylvester, I could recall looking at you on television in some of the games as well, so I do follow from a very tender age. Other match officials, players, welcome. Today we are attempting to recognize your efforts, and let me congratulate Barbados, but to say also that Grenada is also a winner. When you lose a game, you must attempt to win in the future. And you must see each game, in my view, as an opportunity to build from what you learn and, of course, apply it in the future. Cricket is an interesting game. It is not over until it is over. So always see the opportunities as just that. And I want to take this opportunity to discuss with you an important aspect of Caribbean cricket. When we look at our countries, our islands, we see, in sense, countries that are here and there. But on occasions when we have to represent the West Indies, we are asked to come together. It's time that we build the bond and use opportunities like this to build friendships so that it lasts beyond just when you get selected to the West Indies team. We need to ensure that cricket survives. We need to ensure that we build cricket. And we can only build cricket with the efforts and talents and energies of our young players. Grenada, over the next course of this government's term, is going to ensure that it improves our community sporting policy. It's going to ensure that the clubs have a stronger say in what is going on and participate. So that ultimately, that whole goal of sporting tourism can be achieved because we now have the capacity to build from the ground up into something much more successful. We believe that the investments that are required to take this game forward is not only from the financial side, but from our own creativity and ability to come together and to work together. So I want to leave you with this message. This is an opportunity for you to build friendships for the long term. See it as that. Take, for example, Devon Smith. When he was called up, I am certain that it was a new experience for him. He didn't know much of the players in that instance. And of course, you know how a team is. If you don't know people, you can't feel a part and you can't give off your best. So take that lesson and learn with it. We have the beauty of technology, so you can stay in your own island and communicate with each other. Share videos. Take the opportunity to show each other the progress that you have made and continue to build that friendship and bond so that when you go out there and you represent Team West Indies, you hit in every ball. You show you have the support of the other player and you are certain on the capacity of the bowlers that are on your team. So young men, teams, coaches, officials, and all dignitary stakeholders see this as an opportunity to work together and let's build cricket, ultimately build Cricket West Indies. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister. And we do look forward to continuing to work with the Ministry of Sports and yourself as we look to develop the sport here in Grenada, which we love dearly. Ladies and gentlemen, we transition over now to one of the more interesting parts of the evening's proceeding, where we recognize, show appreciation, and award the outstanding contributions of many individuals over the last week. We will start first off by showcasing our appreciation to the match officials. And to start us off, first strike in terms of presenting the awards, we'd like to invite the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Sports, Mr. Norman Gilbert, to join us to assist us with the... Sorry, Mr. Gilbert. Seems that I promoted you in the batting order, but you're actually batting number 3 today. I would like to invite... Sorry, it's not a reflection of your performance over the week, but Wandong... Wandong is normally regarded as the best batsman in the team, so you can send somebody first to face first strike. And I think there is no better person to ask to open the batting from us than one of Grenada's premier batsmen over the years, who is regarded as one of the finest batsmen produced by Grenada. Currently, he serves as the chairman of the WICB Windward Islands Cricket Board selectors, Mr. Steve Mahon, to assist us with the presentation of the awards to the match officials. Stevie. First up, we like to call the match managers first. We'll start with the match managers. And we'd like to ask one of our dear friend, long-serving servant of cricket in Grenada. He served as many capacities, player, coach, DL manager, match manager, Mr. Rene Belfon. Next up is a former Windward Islands first-class player. He served in this tournament in the capacity of match manager, Mr. Gavin Roberts. And our third match manager for the tournament, I do not think he has had the illustrious career as a player, but as an administrator, he has been on par with the best in Grenada. Mr. Norman Gilbert, our third match manager. So we're now going to go to our third umpires. So first of all, we like to call, and I think we need to, before I call them, I just need to say that this category is dominated by representatives from the sister island, which just shows you the wide range and diversity of the sport in Grenada, that cricket is not only a mainland thing, but Carriacou and Petit Martinique also is quite involved, and they have an important role to play in our administration of cricket. So we'd like to start with Mr. Imran George, who is going to receive his award from Mr. Steve Mahon. And we have no doubt that in the future, Mr. Imran George might be one of those folks standing in the middle in the international match from the sister islands of Carriacou, representing the state of Grenada. Also from the sister island of Carriacou, someone who has done it all, player, administrator, multiple sports enthusiast, Mr. Anderson Matheson. Thank you very much. And our hardworking treasurer, who only a couple of days ago entered a new phase of life, but his wife was so gracious to loan him to us for this week. So I'd like to invite Mr. Rupert Holas. So thank you very much, Mr. Mahon, and I'd like to invite our dear friend KJ Singh, Senior Project Officer, Cricket West Indies, to assist us with the next round of awards. These are for the men who had the responsibility of officiating the duties in the middle. And we'd like to start with our very own from the sister island of Carriacou, Michael Fraser. Followed by our brother from Jamaica, Mr. Robert Foster. And we keep the Jamaican partnership going along with Mr. Colin Bryan. From the island nation of Barbados, Kevin Cisnet. Mr. Kevin Cisnet. From the Commonwealth, the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Mr. Javid Prasad. And from the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Kelman Kaulasa. And I'm not too sure if to say St. Vincent or Grenada, but he's more Grenadian than St. Vincentian, Mr. Roger Davis. Thank you very much, KJ. And now I'd like to invite our third batsman to come to the crease, Mr. Norman Gilbert, to assist us with the next few presentation, where we're going to be presenting awards to our player of the match. So for match day 1, we had one completed match between Guyana and the Windward Islands at the National Stadium, and the player of the match from that encounter, Navin Budwa, who top scored with 48 of 83 balls. And for match day 2, between Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago, the player of the match, Sion Charles, 3 for 11 of 5.5 overs. Thank you very much, Mr. Gilbert, and I'd like to invite the distinguished former president of the Grenada Cricket Association, Mr. Cecil Greenidge, to assist us with the next couple of presentations. Player of the match awards. We start off with match day 3, the Guyana versus Leeward Islands encounter. Amari Jones of the Leeward Islands, the player of the match, for his important knock of 17 not out. And the second match on that day between Jamaica and Barbados, the player of the match, Jaden Chase, 3 for 10. Thank you very much, Mr. Greenidge, and I'd like to invite Mr. Anderson Noel, the first Vice President of the Grenada Cricket Association, to assist us with the presentation of awards for match day 4. And the first encounter, the first match on that day between the home team, Windward Islands, and Trinidad and Tobago. The player of the match for that encounter, an excellent all-around performance of 2 for 22 of 4 overs with the ball, and 53 runs of 53 balls with the bat, Brendan Budu. And the second player of the match from that day, the match between Jamaica and Guyana, 3 for 15 of 4 overs, Arif Khan. Thank you very much, Mr. Noel, and I'd like to invite the chairman of the Grenada Tourism Authority, Mr. Randy Dolan, to assist us with the next couple of awards. And we're going to have for match day 5, Leeward Islands versus Trinidad and Tobago, 3 for 27 of 4 overs and 26 of 25 balls, Matthew Miller. The next match on that day, Windward Islands versus Barbados, Top score in the game with 32 not out, Kimar Dixon of Barbados. Thank you very much, Mr. Dolan, and I'd like to invite the CEO of the GTA, Ms. Petra Roach, to assist us with the next set of presentations. Match day 6, this was today. The first encounter, Leeward Islands versus Barbados, and the player of the match, 2 for 7 of 3 overs, Jakeem Pollard. The second match, which was the battle between curry chicken and chicken curry, the player of the match was awarded for 14 of 17 balls, but most importantly, the note said for his running between the wickets and partnership with Dave Mohabir to position Guyana for the win, Adrian Hetmeyer. Certainly an individual with a powerful name, and I'm sure the Caribbean awaits to see his further development. And the final match of the tournament, for his 33 of 26 balls to help Jamaica to the first win of the tournament, Savio Jones. Thank you very much, Ms. Roach. And that was the individual awards, or player of the match awards. We now move into another category of awards, the Outstanding Tournament Performance Awards, where we recognize the best individuals in the different categories of the game. And to assist us with the presentation for this category, we invite Mr. Junior Randolph Murray, MBE, to assist us with the first 2 presentations. And the fielder with the most catches, the award goes to Kimar Dixon of Barbados. And we would like to ask one of the finest glove men produced within Grenada and the West Indies, Junior Randolph Murray, to assist us in presenting the award for the best wicket keeper to Paje Nelson of Jamaica. Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Junior Randolph Murray, MBE. And we'd like to invite Mr. Devon Smith to assist us with the next 2 presentations. And we will present to the, first off, the bowler with the most wickets in the tournament. And that award goes to, for his 7 wickets, Arun Gainda of Guyana. And we move on to the most runs. It was a very tightly contested race, but the eventual tournament top run scorer with 88 runs from the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Darius Batusing. Thank you very much, Mr. Smith. And I'd like to invite Mr. Graham West, High Performance Manager of CWI, to assist us with the presentation of the Tournament MVP Award. It is the most glamorous individual award to be won this evening, and the individual who was adjudicated to be the MVP of the 2022 West Indies Rising Stars Under 15 Championship for 5 wickets from 11 overs with an economy rate of 1.82, averaging 4, Akobi Krishlo Baya of Barbados. Yes, thank you very much, Graham. And we now like to invite the Honorable Minister of State with responsibility for youth, sports, and culture to assist us with the presentation of medals and the trophy to the runners-up. And this year, runners-up finishing with 16.4 points. The men from the South American mainland, Guyana. Let's give a hand to Guyana. I will call the individual players, and you come up to receive your medals first from the minister, and then the captain will receive the trophy at the end. So we start with Danish Prasad, followed by Sohail Mohammed, Shane Prince, Arun Gainda, Navin Budwa, Jonathan Mentori, Zandon Rose, Nicholas Lavelle, Adrian Hetmeyer, Romario Ramdiol, Razam Kubir, Darwin LaRose, Arif Khan, the management team, Yajram Lachman, Stefan Elroy, and the captain, Dave Mohabir. So we'll ask Dave to remain to receive the runners-up trophy from the minister. Guyana finished with 16.4 points over the 5 match days. So let's give a hand to Guyana for the outstanding performance. Thank you very much, Minister. And we now invite the Director of Cricket West Indies, Vice President of the Windward Islands Cricket Board, and President of the Grenada Cricket Association, Dwayne Gill, to assist us with the presentation of medals and the champion trophy to the winning team, Barbados. We start with DeMarco Wiggins, Gadson Bowens, Jakeem Pollard, Jaden Chase, Jordan Graham, Justin Paris, Kimar Dixon, Malik Amy, Antoine Darlington, Rafael Lavelle, Ronaldo Bon, RJ Gittens, Shem Sargent, Rohan Nurse, Richard Clark, Jason Haynes, Kwame Darlimpo, and finally, Akobi Krishlo Baya. Akobi will also receive the championship trophy on behalf of his team as champions of the 2022 CWI Rising Stars Under 15 Championship. Thank you very much, President Gill. And today, ladies and gentlemen, though 2 teams would have received medals, I believe that all our players who participated in this tournament were winners as the first generation of cricketers post-COVID to participate in the CWI Under 15 Championship. And I think we need to give them a round of applause for their participation. They have been a resilient bunch, and I believe they would have represented themselves, their families and territories well over the last week. And from all of us at the GCA, it was an honor to be hosting you here in the Spice Isle. And as many others before me said, we look forward to hearing some of those names as you move up the levels to the under 17s, the under 19s, your respective territories, and wearing that maroon cap one day for the West Indies. I know there have been some exciting individual talents through the tournament, some wonderful leg spinners who are not afraid to flight the ball, some left-arm seamers who have bowled well, some right-arm seamers who seems to have a bit of pace of them. And then there is that exciting name from Trinidad and Tobago, Yasir Dean. So much pressure on that name, former top leg spinner from Pakistan. And I'm certainly looking forward to hearing Yasir Dean name being mentioned among the future players in our cricket tournament in the future. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you very much for your support to these youngsters throughout the week and this evening. And we thank you for coming out and being part of this evening's festivity. And to the players, we wish you all the best as you return to your respective territories. I know some of you have flights early in the morning, some of you later on in the day. But those of you who get to spend a few extra hours on our island, we do encourage you to visit the mall, leave behind all the EC dollars, do enjoy the stay in Grenada, and we look forward to welcoming you back here in our beautiful Grenada in the not too distant future. So safe journey home, and we'll see you soon. So before we get some photos with the champion and the runners-up, so we start with Guyana. So please come forward so we can get some photos with you with the officials, and then.